Justin Bieber's Overexposed.
Lindsay Lohan's hookup list is leaked.
And Shailene Woodley throws shade at Twilight.
We've got all of this and more on today's Rundown. Hey you guys, welcome back to DHR. OMG, I have Miss Misty Kingma.
And
she's the best.
Erin Robinson, of
That's
course.
me.
She's here every day with you guys. I'm so excited because Ersty's back together.
That's us. We're
right
back.
here.
Yay.
And Erin's got some Justin Bieber news to kick it off.
Yes, like Misty said, Justin Bieber's our top story today, but he's not the only one in our top story. Actually, when you think of the most overexposed celebrities, Misty, who are in your top 5?
Maybe some Kardashians, definitely Bieber. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, actually. There's so many.
Yeah, there are, and you're really on target with this because there is a new list out there right now about the most overexposed celebrities, and here are the top 4. Number 1, a lot of times reality stars make this top 100 list, but the top 4 are kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber made the number 1 spot, you guys, which isn't shocking because he did reach 50 million followers on Twitter, so he's got a lot of exposure. We talk about him every day here. So
lots of drama happening too with the deposition, all the arrests, all the paparazzi issues, way more than that too. I mean, this kid has some media happening.
Definitely overexposed. Number 2 is Kim Kardashian, of course. We cannot get enough of her. And then number 3 is actually shocking to me is Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, if you had given me this Forbes list like 2 years, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, yeah, maybe, but Lindsay hasn't really been relevant lately, so this is really surprising.
Kind of shocking, but that will lead to our couples news later on. We do have some Lindsay Lohan news.
News.
But number 4, also not surprising, is Miley Cyrus.
She should be ranked higher. She should be 3 actually, or maybe even 2 or 1. I mean, Miley's had such an incredible last 365 days. I mean, come on, she's everywhere.
Everywhere. So you guys have to let us know who your most overexposed celeb picks are.
Yeah, do you agree with Forbes?
Yeah. So last night there was a huge Glee episode, and Misty, you have all the details on that.
I do, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so City of Angels episode, the Glee Club finally headed to nationals, and Mr. Schuester asked Sam to kind of lead the group like Finn did last year when they won. And it surprised me on this episode, the whole thing was kind of about Corey Monteith. Like, we already had that tribute episode, but again, this one was all about his character Finn, and they were thinking about him and like channeling him while they were performing at nationals. So that was kind of cool. And Finn's parents chaperoned the group to LA for nationals, so that was kind of nice.
Okay.
Now, the Glee Club did Boston's More Than a Feeling, they did Neil Diamond's America, and U2's I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, which was Finn's favorite song. So they tributed him in their nationals performance, and during that last song, they showed clips of Corey on Glee, and it was so emotional. I honestly was in tears watching that, so you guys take a look.
Still haven't found what I'm looking for, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
And I have to point out that Pitch Perfect's Skylar Astin was in this episode.
Oh, love that.
As their competition, he was the lead in the Glee group Throat Explosion.
Okay. Okay.
And sadly, I have to report that New Directions,
they didn't win. They didn't win.
They got second place. So really hope that I'm not spoiling all this for you guys. But can we just mention Erin's favorite Prancer size expert, Joanna Rohrbach, was one of the judges.
She is everything, you guys. If you've not seen the Prancer size videos, you have to see this and show this to all of your friends. It just makes your day when you watch Prancer size.
It does. And that's probably why the New Directions lost. Well, also because Corey Monteith wasn't there and because Joanna Rohrbach was one of the judges. Really weird. So anyways, the episode ended with Sue, Principal Sue, telling Mr. Schuester that the Glee Club is forever canned, axed, it's gone. But she was actually kind of nice about it, which was weird. And then Kurt in New York finds out that Glee has been canceled forever. And that's where we end. So next week, starting next week, Glee, all gonna be in New York. Get ready for it. Now, is Divergent throwing some shade at Twilight? Erin!
Oh, yes, my friend, it is true.
Say it ain't so.
Shailene Woodley, who I love, by the way, I am in love with this girl. I
You
think
are.
She is so talented and she has such a free spirit and I love it. She is starring in Divergent, obviously playing Tris Pryor, and Divergent comes out March 21st, which is next weekend.
So soon!
So there's a lot of press going on about her and about the movie, and she had an interview with E! Where she basically says that Twilight is not setting the stage for good
Yikes.
role models for kids. So her quote is, "Twilight, I'm sorry, is about a very unhealthy, toxic relationship. She falls in love with this guy, and the second he leaves her, her life is over and she's going to kill herself. What message are we sending to young people that is not going to help this world evolve?" Shailene is a hippie. She's a free spirit. She's all about the positivity.
That's why you have a girl crush on her. 'cause
That's
she's a
why I
hippie.
just love her so much. But you know what? There is some truth to that. But Twilight, that's so long ago. Like, why are we still talking about that?
I feel like E probably prompted her with that question because they wanted to create some drama.
Some
and
drama.
Shailene was just being honest. And I have to kind of agree with her. I've thought that myself. Like, this girl only wanting to live for a guy kind of sends the wrong message that, like, girls can't be strong and independent on their own, that whole thing. So I kind of agree with her.
Gotcha. Well, also something interesting that I found out about Shailene is that she doesn't have a cell phone, you guys. Like, she got rid of her phone.
Excuse me?
This is, again, why I love her. She basically said, quote, "As far as the hacking stuff goes, I don't really have to worry about that. I'm not a big technology person. I don't even have a smartphone. I don't even have a cell phone. And if I were to have one, it would be a flip phone." Girl, flip phones are like 15 years ago.
Girl,
Come
who
on.
doesn't have a cell phone?
That's
How do you
crazy.
get around? How does your manager call you? How do you know when to show up on set?
She's got people. She's got people.
She's got people?
But interesting enough, she did say, "Since I got rid of my phone, having to pull over and be like, 'Hey buddy, do you know how to get here?' I'm talking to people more than I've ever talked to in my life because I no longer have that crutch. The more you get away from all the technological buzz, the more freedom you have." So she's talking to more people now, and she's just...
No, once Divergent comes out, she's not gonna be able to do that. She's
Yeah.
gonna be too famous for that. She's gonna have to ask the paparazzi how to get places because they're gonna be following her everywhere.
Good point. So we teased that we would have some Lindsay Lohan dish for you, and Misty is gonna bring it like it's never been brought in before.
Oh, it's getting brung. So, a source close to In Touch magazine has put out this list. We're calling it a conquest list of people that Lindsay Lohan has supposedly hooked up with, done the nasty with. It's a long list. Apparently, Lindsay was at the Beverly Hilton Hotel and she was like with some friends and she wanted to impress them. So she's like, "Let me write down everyone I've slept with." Terrible idea.
Not
Don't
good.
ever do this.
Never.
So she's 27 years old, and the list has about 36 names, although I think that's the short list. Some of these names are gonna surprise you guys. We already knew she probably hooked up with Max George from The Wanted. We knew she hooked up with Wilmer Valderrama, Demi's boyfriend, but people who didn't know: Adam Levine, Heath Ledger, Garrett Hedlund,
Justin Timberlake,
Zac Efron.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Need we say more? Yep, some of these names are blurred out on here, which is weird. Like maybe they're commoners, for lack of a better word, or they're not interesting, or why are they some blurred out but the good ones aren't?
Yeah, but you know what? There is something interesting I found is when I looked at this list, there were some names that were missing. For instance, Harry Judd was missing, Callum Best was missing,
Samantha Ronson.
Samantha Ronson
So there's
was
some,
missing.
probably some of the blurred out ones. Maybe it's because those are the ones we already knew about. Maybe.
Can't really say for sure if this is an actual Lindsay Lohan list.
Yeah.
But if it is, I am quite shocked, and kids, do not take this list as your goal.
Don't
please.
ever do that. And I
This
mean,
is not good.
Of course, we don't know the timeline of any of these conquests. We don't know if like Adam
Recently.
Levine was dating his fiance now when they hooked up, or how long ago this was. Of course, Lindsay's been in the spotlight for a really long time, so she's had some time to rack this up.
And important to note that she wrote this and just threw it to the side, like completely supposedly
threw it on the floor?
tossed it out for somebody else to find.
Who would do that? You can't do
I
that.
have my suspicions about this, but the real takeaway here is something that my grandmother always told me.
What was
Never write anything down on a sheet of paper that you wouldn't want on the front page of the newspaper.
Good advice.
Very good advice. Take that.
It's Wednesday. Do you know what that means? We're bringing you a special Weird
Weird
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Ah!
Weird.
So I'm gonna say something weird that you don't know about Erin, and then she's gonna do that about me.
Yes.
Erin, do you want to start?
I can start. One thing that you didn't know about Misty is that she never had a dog growing up because she couldn't, because she raised tortoises and she had turtles like everywhere. in
Yeah,
her house.
Mom. Why'd you do that to me? I wanted a dog.
And they keep breeding and they were an endangered species.
We
so
would
they-
have like 20 turtles at a time. It was like weird.
That is so crazy. And also, Misty was in the marching band.
No, Erin was in the marching band.
Oh.
We both band nerds.
Yeah.
She
Trumpet.
played flute.
Yeah, we know
Flute.
so much about each other.
Something you don't know about Erin that I think is pretty cool, weird again.
Weird?
She's a pageant girl, former pageant girl.
Retired.
She was Miss Malibu in 2011, you guys. Look how hot she looks in this photo.
That was
Oh my
so long
God.
ago, Misty. I can't even believe it. So important to note, the reason why I won pageants was not because I was hot. Let's be clear on that. It was because I think when my interviews, I was just so silly and random and just was totally myself. And they were just like, oh, these pageant girls are also groomed and perfect. And here's this weird girl who comes in.
So you won for your weirdness.
Won for my weirdness. So celebrate your weirdness, you guys. Let us know in the comments what makes you weird. And we'll do Weird Wednesday next Wednesday as well. So you guys, thanks for watching DHR, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.
So, if you like today's DHR, then you will love yesterday's show. Just click here on the video to watch, and do not forget to subscribe.